What's up, guys? Lockster here. Today I wanted to do a guide on dungeons. First off, I figured this would be a guide on the Fire Knight dungeon, seeing as how that's one of the more difficult dungeons to complete. I know that I had a very difficult time whenever I first was running through it, and just wanted to kind of do a quick guide on how to get through it as best as possible. I will say this, I cannot auto-complete it. I have to manually control everybody, otherwise the AI is just dumb and they use abilities out of order and it messes up the run. So I will say that I cannot auto-run it, I have to manually run it myself. That being said, let's go ahead and jump in. You'll see in my background that I have Aethel here. She is like the queen for me. She is amazing all around. She's like great in PvP, clan boss, dungeons, campaign, everything, honestly. She actually wasn't my starter hero. I wish I would have picked her as my starter, but I actually went with Kale, and I was lucky enough to pull her, and I've actually pulled multiples of her, but yeah, very happy that I got her. She would have been my starter had I have known how amazing she was, and mostly it's because of her main attack. She hits the enemy three times, and she has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff, which, if you don't know what weaken debuff is, that is a 25% increase to all damage dealt to that enemy whenever they have that debuff on them. And once you level this up, it's a 100% chance to land that buff. So definitely an amazing ability, and this is key. Being able to hit 3 times on an enemy is very important whenever you're running the Fire Knight boss. I'll get into that here in a bit whenever we get to the dungeon. Secondly, I usually run with Cold Heart. She attacks 4 times at random, and whenever you're against a boss, you're always going to hit that one boss. So being able to hit somebody multiple times, especially on a default skill, is amazing, mainly for Clan Boss and the Fire Knight, or just bosses in general, especially if you have maxed out their masteries and gotten like Giant Slayer. That will proc like a percentage health damage to them on like I think it was like a 30% chance now. They changed it. Let's check real fast. Yeah, so once you get Giant Slayer, every attack has a 30% chance of inflicting bonus damage. It's equal to 3% of a boss's attack, or a boss's HP. And that's max HP, not current HP. So definitely an amazing ability. Always get this on a high number of attacking characters. I actually think it's best for 3 attack and higher, 3 or 4 attack. And then if they attack once or twice, I'd go with the other skill, which here, let me get into that. That would be Executioner, or War Master, yeah. War Master has a 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage, and it's 4% of their max HP, which I feel like this is just better if they only attack once or twice, because you're always going to get it, or not always, but almost always are going to get that extra damage put in. So very helpful. Let's get back into skills. Another skill that's really amazing, Cold Heart is just an amazing character in general, but especially for Fire Knight, once you break that shield, because he's holding up his little shield and he's like hiding behind it from the very start of the fight, and you have to deal a certain amount of attacks to get him to lower that shield. And once he lowers that shield, then you can apply debuffs and status effects. As long as he's holding that shield up, you can't apply anything to him. He's just going to resist everything. So that's why it's so important to have multi-hit skills as a default attack. It's very awesome. And then once he lowers it, you can hit him with this, which will reset his turn, which will give you at least 1, maybe 2 more turns with your characters, depending on how fast they are, and be able to pump out some damage. Another really good benefit of Cold Heart is her heal reduction. If you land that on him, it really messes him up, because whenever it gets to his turn, he will retaliate and bring his shield back up, and then he'll deal damage to you and heal himself. So if you can't deal enough damage, heal reduction would be very helpful to just keep him from regaining all of his life. Let's go ahead and move over to Apothecary. This guy is actually pretty easy to get, just because he's a rare. He's not from void crystals or anything. I know Cold Heart is void, so it's kind of difficult to get her. But if you're lucky enough to pull her, make sure you do not get rid of her. She is an incredible hero, and she will definitely carry you through a lot of boss fights, and she's great in clan boss also. Apothecary is another one of those just staple all-around good characters. He has a 3-hit default skill, amazing, and then he has this speed buff that just increases the speed of everybody in your party for 2 turns. And once you get it all the way cool built up or skilled up, you can always have it up. So I need to work on that. I actually have skill tomes I could put into him, but I'm just trying to decide what I want to level up next. And then he also has a heal. That's not so important in the Fire Knight dungeon, but hey, it's a healer. Cool. What else? I also usually run with Juliana. She's another multi-hit. She hits twice, and then she has great debuffs, poisons, and a HP burn. Quick note on the HP burn, you can only have 1 HP burn going at one time. So if he has HP burn and this is already up, you might hold off on it, unless you really just want to try and land it just because you have it up. Anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a run so I can kind of show you guys how it's done, or how I do it. Alright, Fire Knight's Castle. Right now, it took me forever to get down this far. I'm farming stage 12, and it is pretty easy actually compared to stage 9. Stage 9 I had a really hard time with, just because its affinity is red, and most of my heroes are blue, so it's just, I couldn't beat it for a very long time. It took me forever. Actually just beat it like last week. Anyways, let's jump into this. Make sure I got the right guys. I usually use Aethel as my leader just to have a little bit extra HP, because Fire Knight usually will do a attack, and whenever he hits you with it, it lowers your max HP permanently. So it's nice to have a little bit extra HP. Alright, so usually I just will do a speed buff here, and attack there, power up everybody, then I'll just do AoE just to knock them out. Usually all of my important skills I just hold off on. Don't really have too much I need to do to clear this trash. It's pretty easy. I usually take out these front liners first though, just because I think they had like an ability to make them invulnerable or something, so I just didn't want to have that happen. Okay. Since he's pretty low, or Aethel's pretty low, I'm going to go ahead and heal her up. I want everybody to be full health whenever I get to this boss. Alright. So finally at the boss. So whenever you attack him, he's going to raise that shield up. So his default attack all enemies decreases enemy max HP by 15% of damage dealt. That's what I was talking about earlier, where I said he's going to reduce your max HP, so it's nice to have a little bit more HP on this fight. His second attack attacks all enemies, places a 30% decreased speed debuff for 3 turns. This is actually really annoying, and I actually have thought about bringing in somebody to clear that debuff, but I'm able to beat it right now, so it's not a big issue. It just takes a little bit of extra time. And then his passive starts the battle off with Divine Shield. While active, the shield reduces damage he receives by 80%, and prevents him from receiving any debuffs or being affected by other skill effects. That's what I was talking about with like Cold Heart. You won't be able to apply heal reduction or reset his turn meter as long as he has his shield up. So you gotta break that shield. And let's go ahead and get him to bring that shield up. So I'll bring it up like that, and as you see, he gets these little debuffs, or the shield right there, the shield counter. That means that you have to deal that many hits, and that will make him like bring down the shield, so you can actually damage him and apply debuffs and skill effects. So let's go ahead and just hit him as many times. I usually just run through with my default skills just to get him to lower the shield. I speed everybody up and try and land as much as I can on him before he jumps right back in. Usually we'll have to heal up just a little bit there. I always use Apothecary's default skill. I hardly ever heal with him unless it's a turn where the Fire Knight's shield is already down. So, because you want to make sure you break that. Because if you don't break his shield, he does extra damage to you, and he also heals for extra amount. So very important to be dropping your shield every turn. Awesome, landed the HP burn. I don't really need to heal, so I'll just deal a little bit extra damage, speed everybody up, get some attack boost. Alright. Aethel's another one, like you always just use your default skill. You want to make sure you can break that shield. It's imperative that you break it. Alright. Julian is amazing. She really is just like one of the best characters you can get. If you get her, congratulations. You pretty much win. Especially in Clan Boss. She's my highest damage in Clan Boss. She does like 7.5 to 8 mil by herself. Alright, his shield's down. So, and Apothecary doesn't really do much damage. I'll just heal him up, make sure he stays in the fight. Alright, go ahead and try and knock his shield down again. Oh yeah, easy. This is going to be an easy one. Get some more poisons on him. And this is where we can reset his turn meter, and he's pretty much dead at this point. Like, no chance of him surviving. Alright, so that's it. It's a pretty quick and easy run. Oh, nice. I've been actually trying to farm a lot of these. Too bad that's a 4-star. I'll keep it for now. But yeah, that's the Fire Knight's Keep, or Castle. And it's pretty quick and easy run through. Like I said, it took a long time to get to this point where I'm at. You really need to focus on having multi-hit characters, especially as a default skill. If they hit multiple times as a default skill, then you want to keep them, especially for Fire Knight. There is one champion. I'm so mad I got rid of her. I didn't realize it, but she's actually incredible. And I was in a rush to 6-star somebody, so I just used her as food. Hyria. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but she is amazing for Fire Knight, and also Clan Boss, all because of this one skill. Lead the charge, attack one enemy with 2 random allies. The allies joining the attack use their default skills. So as long as those 2 people that are joining the attack have like a multi-hit attack on their default skill, it's just going to break them in one turn. It's incredibly powerful. It's even strong on Clan Boss and other bosses for that matter. So if you get her, definitely keep her. She is somebody I wish I would get now so I could build her up. And she's green. I don't have very many strong green heroes except for Jisoo, which I got whenever I started the game. Other than him, I don't really have too much. So really hope I can get her again. I definitely plan on saving her and building her up if I do get her. But yeah, which speaking of that, I am saving all my shards for the next summoning event. I'm sure it'll be coming up soon, so I want to make sure that I have plenty to actually complete the summoning event. So I'm not opening any shards I get until then, and I'm also trying to complete my challenges. I've almost completed everything. I probably won't be completing this anytime soon, a Spirit Champion to rank 6. I just don't have any good Spirit Champions that I want to rank up yet. But I will be working on this as much as possible. I really want to clear stage 13 of the Fire Knight's Castle, but I can't yet just because it's another red affinity, and I just can't beat that red affinity Fire Knight yet. At least not yet. Soon I will. And then I'll get this, hopefully before the next summoning event. Anyways, guys, I hope that this brought some light to the Fire Knight's Castle, and that you'll be able to extinguish his flames. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you next time.